Good morning, everyone. Wet and windy. Oh, we can't be doing wet and windy. Nice to see you all here. We are going to be looking into sort of Christmas really today. Oh, excuse me. Slightly disorganized today, so bear with me. Had a fantastic reel workshop yesterday, first time in a year, and it was fantastic. It's fantastic to see all of the people who we all felt a little bit nervous, as I'm sure many of you are, that are thinking of getting back to real classes, but it worked really, really well. And we had some lovely cards and projects made, which I'm sure some people will show later. But I've got an online workshop with the same projects in a couple of weeks. And so I have asked them not to show you just yet. So we are on to our July kit, which is this lovely card. It's using the new Sue Wilson Festive Collection of 2021 with the layered snowflake, which is this. And the card itself is not my design in any shape or form. It's one of Sue's, well, I assume it's Sue's or one of Sue's design teams that's actually in the box, in the pack itself, I think, but I just loved it. I've done it in a different colour. I think that the way that they used it was with pixie powders or something, but I have got this very, very pretty sage green pearlescent card, which I thought we would have. I'd use that as well. So as it's a card kit, you will receive everything that you've got here. You can see here in order to complete this card, apart from glue and foam pads. So everything else you will get in your pack. I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but it is really glistening. So actually, let me put some lights on and then we can all see things a bit better. Hold on. Oh, crash, bang, wallop. Now I've got to wait for the light to sort it. Now you can see it shining, can't you? So yeah, very, very sparkly. So it's a fairly flat card. It's an 8x8, which you will be getting in your pack as well. And as I said, you'll even be getting the frame. And I know a lot of people find difficult with the frame, but you will actually be getting the frame there as well. Now, this is part of a collection of, as I said, Sue Wilson's Festive 2021 collection. And I do have a few other things on the website, some of which I will show you, that if you wanted to treat yourself to those, by all means, fill your basket. Let's get on with this little delectable though. So in your pack, as I said, you will receive this little collection here. So you receive your die set, which is actually made up of 2 dies. You have a sort of a debossed one, which is this outer one, which you will get here like that. Okay, and then you get the snowflake, which is the inner one here, which has pieces that you can sort of like 3D. So I'll show you that in a second. So it's quite a nice die and lends itself to quite a few different ideas, of which are within here. So this is a very similar one to what I've done. I've just tweaked it a little bit to how I would like to have it, and I've done a different center and everything. So that is basically what I have done there. But you can see some other lovely ideas from that as well. And as I said, you will get all the bits and pieces here to go with it to enable you to replete the card that I've done there. Okay, so let us, without further ado, pop that to one side and take our dies and have a look at our dies to see what they're made of. So this one here is a background die. It has no outer edge, so it can be bigger. It is a little bit restricted, but you can't, it's not a repeatable pattern because you've got this bit in the center, but you could have a wider border however you like. So that's a nice one there. And then this one is very intricate. Show you back onto the card itself. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that those bits stick up a bit? So all these little bits can be sort of positioned so that they all come forward, which gives it like a dimension. I mean, if you would really go to town, you could stick all those little bits up, but I haven't done that. And then the center one there. So you can see that that really has got quite a lot of dimension to it. So now I've already cut some card, and because I didn't think you'd want me to see me do absolutely all of it. So we have got our 8x8 card and this lovely sage green pearlized card. It's been out quite a long time, but I've never really found the right project, and I felt that this one was a really nice one. So it's a sage green. Obviously, when you get your own kit at home, if you prefer to change the colours and you have different card at home, you can, you know, really change that all up. So I've cut that piece out. Oh, by the way, with the kit, you will get instructions to tell you what size and everything is. So I've cut this one out to 19.5 centimetres square, which will fit directly onto my card there. And I shall find some glue to stick that down. I can stick that one straight down. And then I've also cut out some white card here, which is 19 centimetres squared. And that is going to go onto this section, but I've got a lot to do to that piece. That's where all the work is going to go onto that piece. So I can, oh, let's pop that straight down there. I can put that straight onto there and leave that to one side. So I've just put glue onto the back, straight onto my card front, and I can decide still at this stage which orientation I want, whether I want it to open that way or with the top folding. So I'm going to pop that to one side for now. So this is my piece, which is now 19 by 19. And in your kit, you will get a piece of double-sided adhesive sheet, different to the sticky specs. It's called a sticky sheet, but let's call it a double-sided adhesive sheet. Now, it does come in an A4 size as well, but I actually found that using the whole area and getting it sticky was just a little bit too much. So I'm going to trim this one down so that it fits onto the edges. So let me just grab my pair of scissors. Now this is only rough. You could obviously cut it on a trimmer if you wish, but I think it's quite all right to cut like this. So I'm cutting it into a chunk that's, well, the size of the A5. So it's going to go in there like that. And I'm going to want it to go all around the edges. So I'm basically cutting this into 4 pieces. So let's grab a thing, and I want to really leave it, but I probably won't. That's it. So that I've got the grid piece still. So I've taken the back piece off and I've got the grid piece still in position, and I'm putting that right up to the corner on here. So then I'm going to cut myself, and I can use the grid lines to cut. Going to cut myself another piece, and then that piece is going to go down here. So I shall take that off. I never ever get that right. Just going to peel back this top one so that I don't overlay a piece of paper. And then this one. Whoa! Didn't want to do that, did I? Very sticky. But then it's supposed to be, isn't it? So we've done that side, and then just trim this one. Again, coming down this side here. So that all of these pieces have got the double-sided tape. And as I say, I did try and do it so that the whole piece was with the double-sided tape, but I found that that was just like too sticky for words. So I didn't do that. So that's that piece, and I've just then got to fill in that last piece there. And then the fun bit comes. So this will all be covered. The right thing again. Oh, bear with me. So you won't see any of this making here. You'll just see this bit there. So I'm then going to remove all of these sticky pieces here and get them. And now we get really, really sticky. I will keep these bits to press down So we will need them in a second. So just going to remove this. So I've now got very sticky surface to work with here. So just, there we go. So keeping those bits to push down. And what I've already done is I've gone ahead of time and I've cut out 7 in total of the beautiful layered snowflakes. I've cut out 6, to be fair. You need 7. I'm going to do one last one at the moment. So I'm just going to position them so that they look like a pattern. You could have them completely random all the way round, but I prefer for it to be a little pattern. So I'm going to go to each of the corners with a whole snowflake, and I'm going to position so that this one here is sort of pointing towards the corner, but you will find that the other pieces will just be fractionally over the edge. I don't want it too much over the edge, but just fractionally. So I'm just going to use this to be able to press down hard and not get stuck to it all. So I'm going to do that in all 4 of the corners. Okay. So I'm going to push it into much the same position in all 4 of the corners. And I've got a little bit overhanging, but I will just trim that off at the end. Just put that one in much the same position. If they're not completely the same, it doesn't matter. Let's just trim that bit off first. And then one on this corner. And if we've done it with those measurements, you should find that you have got a bit of space left here in between in all these 4 places. And I'm then going to take another one of my snowflakes and I'm going to trim that so that bits of this can fit into these bits that are missing. And if you look at it, you do have to look at it. You do have to think about it. I'll show you with a dark piece, you'll see. I'm actually going to cut 2 off at a time. And by doing that, I'm just going to cut down on that piece there. So I'm just literally going to cut one like that. And then I'm sort of cutting it into a triangle, one like that. And then just trim this bit off as well. And I'll need to do that with just one more piece. So just to trim 2 of those off as well. So I'm afraid to say that is a piece of waste. And I'm just literally going to slot them in onto the corner like that. So it just fits in that place there. I'm going to try and make it so that the edges of my design do not go over the edge. I have obviously gone over the edge on those big ones, but that was a case of having to. But I'm just pushing this down so that these ones don't. Okay, finally, this one here. So I've now got all of my snowflakes into position. Okay. Now at this stage, I'm just going to trim away from the edge the bits that are overhanging. So the little bits that just were from my design, just overhanging a bit. Just going to go around and trim those off. Again, you could do this in a slightly different way, but I'll tell you why I didn't do it. The different way would be to put them down onto a piece of A4 card, put the sticky down and then trim it all again up later. The reason why I didn't do it like that is because when I thought of doing it like that, it actually went all a bit skew with. It didn't, well, it did to me. I didn't like the fact that it wasn't an even pattern all the way around. I just don't like non-even. If it's going to be straight, it should be straight. And I know that's not always an easy thing to do. But that's why I did it, so that I had a pre-cut piece of card rather than cut it out afterwards. And the other reason why I didn't do it like that is because I'm now going to put on my glitter. So I either cut it when it's all sticky. No, we're not going to do that. If I'd done it on a big sheet, or cut it once I've got glitter on and we get even more mess. So we want to restrict the mess, do we not? So let me just grab myself. I'll do it on here actually. No, I won't. Yes, I will. Make my mind up time. I'm going to actually do it onto this. So I'm going to get my Cosmic Shimmer Ice Snow, and I'm going to sprinkle it on to the areas that I know are sticky. And I'm just going to simply rub it into all of those areas, moving it along. And wherever that sticky sheet is, it will simply pick up all of your little bits of glitter. Just put a bit more here. So you will, I'm afraid to say, I think I said this before, that the ice snow just doesn't seem to be in stock. So you will get just a little sachet, I'm afraid, and not a little pot, which is what I'd like to have done. But obviously that makes it a little bit cheaper for you. You could always use any other glitter for this, but I think this one really does sparkle. So just rub that into all of the places, and wherever it is sticky underneath, it will pick up all of that lovely glitter. Just make sure I've got as everywhere as possible. So just going to shake that down. Try and get as much loose off as I possibly can, so that we're not forever covered in glitter. Right, and now you can see it's really, really shiny. So let me just scoop this back. Ooh, into there. Oh, with hopefully it not going too far away. You really don't need very much of it, so it's just scooping up the excess, isn't it? So that you've not got that everywhere, really. So there is our lovely, lovely, shiny, shiny card. So we come back with our card blank, which is over here, and that is simply going to go straight down onto our card front like that. Just take all away these bits and pieces here for a minute. So it's another one of those ones that actually, behind it all is a hidden tale. You can't see any of this from the front, which is all how the secrets go, isn't it? You saw my secret on Wednesday if you were here, of how you make a mess. So just putting some glue onto that, and then putting that straight down onto my sage green first layer there. Just pressing that into the corners. Actually, could have taken one of my pieces to do that, couldn't I? And then I won't be quite so covered in glitter. But Christmas is not Christmas without glitter, don't you think? So there is our front completely done. So I'm just going to put that over to one side to be drying. And I'm just going to clear the deck very slightly so that we can just get on with our next section, which is this lovely debossed middle section here. This one here. So it will cut out, if you pop that in there, that will cut out your actual snowflake and everything. But I'm going to leave it so that it has like the hole there. It cuts out all these little bits, and these bits are just more indented into it. So I've already cut a piece of sage green again, which is 15.5 centimetres by 15.5 centimetres. And as near as I can, I'm going to position that into the centre of my piece, which looks about right. And then I'm going to run that through my machine. And then you'll be able to see all the loveliness that comes out of that. And then I'm just going to pop one more of these back in so that I can cut one more out. And that's going to be my centerpiece. So remove this one first. You can see that lovely pattern which just sits there. It's very, very pretty. It's just sort of just nice. It's something there in the background, but not too in your face, because we've got a lot of detail going on in the background with the snowflakes and the ice snow. So we don't need sort of too much to detract. So by giving it a 15.5 centimetre piece and then popping that in the middle, I've got quite a wide border, which is what we're going to put our frame onto in a second. But before we do that, I'm just going to cut out one more of my snowflakes because that's going to go in the centre. I'm just going to show you how that one goes as well. So I'm just cutting that with white card, which again will be in your kit. Just popping that through. So you can see that it cuts out beautifully, so you've got all of the details in there. But you do need a little pokey tool just to poke out the pieces. And I've got to find out which piece it is that actually... Oh, I've used this one for glue. That's naughty, isn't it? Hold on a second. Shouldn't use that for glue. Anyone else use that to undo their glue pots with and therefore can't open it? Let's just poke out these pieces. I think I hear that this one I was poked out. This one I used with glue as well, which is not good, is it? But we all do it, I'm sure. Perhaps I shouldn't try to hurry it. Perhaps I should just poke it out. Eh? There we go. So a few little bits just to poke out from here, just the little excess bits. But then you should be able to see the bits that would actually, that you can, if you wish. You could stick it all straight down, but you will probably then be able to see all the little bits that you could then move up and make into a sort of a 3D pattern there. So let's just take all those little extra bits out. Yeah, I think that's done. So the middle bit here, that will all come up. So I am, before I stick it down, I am going to actually really stick those up well so that that is prominent, so I won't get any glue on those bits. And I neither want glue on these bits, so I'm really going to put these straight up because they will come down again, but I don't want any glue on them. So I'm just going to push all of these forward so that I can stick this down, because I'm going to use some sticky specks and I don't want the sticky specks on there. So let's just scoop those away. Now you can obviously at home you can use some ordinary glue, but I'm going to put some sticky specks in there in the centre. So before I do that, I want to add my frame, and as I said, you will be getting your frame yourself. So your frame will come already cut out, all ready to go on your piece of card. You can do two things here. You can put foam underneath this frame, and you can put foam underneath this frame, or you can do one or the other. Now I'm going to do just one. I'm going to stick my frame straight down onto this piece of card, but I'm actually then going to put foam on the back of the sage green piece so that that brings it up. But you can put foam onto the back of this frame if you wish, and not onto the back, or, you know, you can do whatever you think is okay for you. So it will leave you with a very tiny sage green. It's been cut so that you've got a very tiny sage green outer border as well as the inside. So hopefully you can see that is okay like that. Sorry, I'm just having a look what you're saying. Some trouble with buffering. It does seem to be a bit slow, doesn't it, today? I don't know why. Okay, so I'm going to put some foam onto the back of here. I'm going to use some foam. Now I haven't put that back from my class, so subsequently I'm going to have to put black foam. Oh, wow. Hold on a second, see if I've got it over here. All is well. Just hadn't unpacked it from the workshop. So I'm going to put plenty of foam onto the back because I do want it to sit proud and I do want it to sit as even as I can. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't go over any of the little sort of almost broadray onglet sort of, maybe I won't put it there, pattern, because I don't want any of the foam to show through. And I'm also going to put it into the centre here because I want that piece to maybe I can squeeze a little one in here. Yeah, just want that to have plenty there. And also pop it into there. And this time I won't try putting on any extra stamp and sentiments after I've done this bit, eh? And for those of you who watched on Wednesday, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, okay. So let's answer a few questions, what I can see. We're talking about this mat. This mat is from Amazon. It is a silicone cooking mat. I can put the link up on there if you like. I just find it's brilliant because I have that on my work surface. It's huge. It's, I think, 60 centimetres by 50. So it covers my work surface. No good getting a small one. You'll never keep it within it, or I wouldn't anyway. So that's my silicone work surface. I think it was about £14, and then I can just wash it, and if I get it mucky, wet or anything, if I get glue on it, it just comes straight off. And also, of course, it's heat resistant, so I think it ticks quite a lot of boxes there. I'll answer some more questions in a second. I'm just going to pop this onto here, and so I'm going to just cover, so we've got that big space there, but I'm just going to cover that, and I'm going to hover that over so that it is as near as I can in the centre, and then just carefully press that down so that I always do anyway, but I have put onto the foam some extra glue because I was a bit concerned when it's sticking onto glitter that it might not want to. Okay, so that is straight down there. Get my sticky specs to pop my little snowflake on. And the only thing is, of course, that I can't really flatten it down. So I'm just going to have to stick it on there, press it down in places, because I don't want to stick it down, otherwise it's going to pick up on all of those. If I lay it down, it's going to pick up on all of those little bits. So if I wasn't so lazy, I could do this with a fine pointed glue. But hey, it's Sunday. So that just picks up enough glue on there. And then there is a pattern on here just to pick it up. And somehow I need to get my head around it. And as much as I would have put a point at the top, but actually if you put the point at the top in this pattern, that's incorrect. So it actually fits back into there that way round so that you've got two facing there. And if you look at this background piece, you'll be able to see that that does fit in there. So I'm just obviously pressing down wherever I've put the glue so that that sticks nicely onto the back, which then still leaves these little bits here sticking up. And then because I just think it will look quite nice with it, just going to get I was going to get a packet of sparkle bits. It seems to be the only one I've got, so this will have to do. I'll just put some little sparkles on there. The sparkles won't be in the kit. They're just something that I think that would look quite nice. But you can obviously, I'm sure everyone's got some sparkly bits that they could add to it. We've gone a bit over the top maybe on the sparkle here with these bits as well, but I think it all looks just very, very nice. So what else did I see as a message there? So someone's sorting out for it. It's is it A3? No, it's bigger than A3. I'm sure it's 60 by 15 50, which is 15 inches. Oh, let's get the ruler, shall we? Well, we would if we could find the ruler. What did I do with the ruler? Hold on a second. Don't know. Let's measure it with this. So it is 12. It is 22 inches, I think, along that way, if we're talking about inches, but it's 60. And then we are about 15 inches that way. So it is a biggie, because I do like the whole surface to be covered. So there is, oh, hold on, I think it needs a gem in the centre, don't you? Let's put a little one in the centre as well. Yeah, that's better. So there is our card kit for July, a Christmas card, but there again, in the craft world, Christmas comes a little bit earlier than it does to most people. So the only thing that you need to add to it is foam and glue. And obviously if you want any sparkly bits in the middle, but you will have everything else in order to produce this lovely card. Well, I think it's a lovely card anyway, and I hope you do too. Now, whilst you are at it, as I say, I have put some of the new collection on there. Couple of bits I wanted to just show you. Let me just get hold of these. Just to show you, because I thought that they're a little bit different than I had at first thought. So you have, just a second, you have the poinsettia stamp cuts. Now, they've brought out quite a few flowers with these before. These are the ones that have got a special coating on the die set here so that you can actually apply ink to this. And I have done a few videos using these type of dies. So you apply ink to your die and cut it out all at the same time. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 poinsettias and a couple of leaves, but I have not actually stamped them, and I'll show you how they come out, and I think they come out really quite nicely. So let me just, without knocking over everything, show you what I mean. So I have just cut them out. I haven't stamped them. I've just cut them out onto satin mirror card. Can you have satin mirror card? Satin card. And hopefully you can see that you have got that beautiful debossed detail, but I haven't put a stamp on it at all. Obviously the samples that you might see will be all coloured in and everything, and if you like colouring in, that's fantastic, and if you don't, it's something a bit different. So that is your poinsettia one. And the other one that I just wanted to quickly show you was the ornate oval. We may well do a card for you soon. And this is very much not for Christmas. Look at all the dies you get. It's really huge. There's 7 dies in total. It's a very big die, and all of these sections. I saw that Beverly has done the most beautiful card with this, and you may well see her on some of the Sue Wilson sites. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But I've just cut out just 3 sections of it, and you can see how beautifully that cuts out, and then sort of the next layer, and then the next layer, and then it goes on. And I kind of was thinking I'll make this into a card. We might even do that one Wednesday. I was kind of thinking that the poinsettias go nicely with that. There's just so many. But there you go. That's just pointing out those little ones. And there's some sentiments available as well. So if anyone fancies any of those, do go over to the website, maximumcrafts.com, where you will find the July card kit. It will be in the Facebook Live section, and they will be shipped out in about, well, Wednesday usually. I just obviously need to, I've got all the stuff to go, but I just need to see how many orders I've got and cut out all of the frames for you and sort out, package them all up, and then they will be on their way to you. The good thing is it will arrive in time for Christmas. Eh? So there you go. Right. So yes, I think I might do that one on Wednesday. We'll have a go. So everybody, thank you very much for joining me. I'm glad you've all looked at the non-stick things, and that's excellent. I will be back on Wednesday. May well do that card for you, but we shall see. You might like to join John Lockwood on TV on Monday, tomorrow evening at 6 and 8, and then again on Tuesday, where he's got some lovely cards using the poinsettias and the brand new waterfall card, which I'm sure will be absolutely lovely. And we've got the gold and silver waterfall card back in stock as well. So there you go. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the weekend and hope to see you on Wednesday. Take care. Bye.